इसके थ्रू, और अगर इंटरनेट होगा तो इंटरनेट के थ्रू भी हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं। बट यहाँ पे इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम्स है, मोबाइल रीचेबिलिटी का प्रॉब्लम है, और मोबाइल टू मोबाइल कांटेक्ट करना 1 to 1 पर्सन होता है। अभी हमारा पूरा 17 लोगों की टीम है, 10 हैम रेडी ऑपरेटर्स है हमारे जैसे, तो ये भी हैम रेडी ऑपरेटर्स हमारा कलीग्स है। तो इनके थ्रू जब हम लोग काम करते हैं तो ऑल ओवर द मतलब एक ही साथ हम लोग सबके साथ बात कर सकते हैं। यानी
अभी आपकी एक टीम यहाँ से गई है, उनसे बात हो सकती है कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से?
यस अनिल JPN, FGN JPN,
Shelar here.
Yeah, FGN Shelar, very good morning. Loud and clear copy. I'm at the base station. There's a clip going on live on Tanker Victor demo to them. FGN JPN, over.
Copy that, sir. Copy that.
Yeah, thank you. Fine and copy. DCS is also with you?
So he is between me and you.
Okay, Delta Charlie Echo JPN. Yeah, you are coming in. 5757 over.
We are right here at the Isalwadi village where this particular landslide took place late last night. Around 11:30 p.m. was when the landslide took place. Now the NDRF team has called off its rescue operation. You can see the team coming down all the way from the top. The hill that you see, in fact behind this hill, the one that's covered in fog, is where the incident took place late last night. Ever since then, rescue operation is constantly on. It will begin again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right now, the challenges that are being faced by the NDRF team is that there is very low visibility. Like you can also see in these visuals, the entire area is covered in fog. Also, it's constantly raining around this area. This was something that even Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who visited the spot all the way until there, mentioned that they had kept helicopters ready for the rescue operation, but rains and the visibility there is making it even more difficult to get any access. And in fact, this is the base camp where we are from here. The route towards this particular village where this incident took place is approximately 2.5 hours by foot. There is no other way that any kind of help can in fact reach there. The only way is this small route wherein only one person can walk at a time. Also, with the rains, it is becoming even more difficult because the entire area has become mucky and people are slipping around that spot. So the accessibility is a problem, which is where at the end of this day, closing it, in fact, NDRF team has mentioned that they had rescued 21 people and so far 16 people have been declared dead.
Quite a tragic incident that has taken place, and you can constantly see the visuals on your screen as to how the particular situation has panned out and how the rescue operations are taking place. We have Yasha Kotok from the particular ground joining.
Good evening. Thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Ridhima Bhatnagar. We're coming to you live from the newsrooms of CNN News 18. Lots to cover over the next 60 minutes this Friday evening. But the top story that we continue to track in great detail is the horror that has happened in Manipur. That video that has come to light of two women who were paraded naked after being raped. Now, more details continue to emerge in terms of the lapses that have happened on multiple levels. We've already spoken about the inaction that happened as far as the police authorities are concerned. If you look at the sequence of events, the episode happened on the 4th of May, but the FIR was filed only on the 18th of May, and the first arrest happened on the 20th of July. After that, 3 more arrests have happened, which means the total arrests now stand at 4. But as I pointed out, there are more lapses that have come to light. Now, a complaint and a letter has also come to light, which was written by members of the Kuki community to the NCW, or the National Commission of Women. And they say that complaint was written 38 days before this video surfaced on social media. Now, they've gone on to claim that they had written in great detail about the horrors that were playing out in Manipur, but they got no response as far as the NCW is concerned. We want to just break down the details in terms of what are members of the Kuki community said and what has the NCW said in its response. The Kuki group is claiming they sent a complaint to the NCW on the 12th of June, which, as I pointed out, was 38 days before this video surfaced on social media. The NCW has countered saying, we reached out thrice to authorities. But the larger question also is, why did the NCW not think to follow up as far as inaction is concerned? The tribal groups are also claiming there was no action taken by the NCW for over a month. NCW has countered saying no response from state authorities. But as I pointed out, why did the NCW not think it was important for them to follow up, considering the fact the letter had details as far as the horrors of the May 4th episode and many others were concerned? The tribal groups are also claiming there was a very clear appeal that was made to the NCW chairperson, but it fell on deaf ears. The NCW's counter has been there was no action taken by the Manipur government. So as I pointed out, the women of Manipur have been let down on multiple levels. The tribal group is also claiming there were 6 episodes of violence and assault that were mentioned in that long mail. The NCW has countered there are attempts to discredit the NCW. Yesterday, the NCW came out and said that we've taken suo motu cognizance and we will be assuring that all possible help and justice is given to the victims as far as the families. But as I pointed out, there are larger questions as far as these lapses are concerned. Also questions as far as the delay in action is concerned. Let's also now bring in our colleague Arunima, who in fact has been tracking these developments very, very closely for us. And Arunima, you in fact have spoken to members of the Kuki community. You've also seen a screenshot of the mail that they claim they sent to the NCW. So am I correct in understanding this mail was sent 38 days before the episode went viral? What are the kind of details that they've mentioned in that mail?
So the timestamp, the date stamp on that screenshot of the email sent to 3 NCW IDs, one to the NCW chairperson, second to the NCW complaint email ID, and third to their Northeast branch.
Okay.
The date there is 12th of June. 12th of June up until July 20th is what we are looking at the timeline. So close to 38 days. What did the email really say? It had an attachment, 2-page letter, which says that we have a lot of faith in NCW. It's a quasi-judicial body, and we believe you can bring justice to women. It talks about how a lot of pregnant women are also suffering, but more or less the crux of it is sexual violence. Not just this incident of viral video, but there are other incidents also, at least 5 others, which are listed. Details given actually what happened, what date it happened, how the victims, if they survived. In most cases, the victims did not survive. But if there are survivors, where are they? For example, in this case of the viral video, it clearly says that we have managed to speak to the survivors and their family members. They're currently in a relief camp at Churchandapur. So if the NCW today says that we forwarded the complaint to the DGP and the Chief Secretary, and if they did not act, could they have done something more for, if she's calling up the Chief Minister today, if Rekha Sharma is calling up the Chief Minister today, had she dialed them earlier, could something have been done possibly much earlier than what we are seeing today? We also have to realize that rape is not an easy crime to report.
True.
Even if it happens in the confines of a room, it's difficult to recount. Imagine the horror where we are paraded naked through the streets, there is a mob, and then the video goes viral. Maybe Rekha Sharma and NCW could, with a little more action, with a little more, pushing the system, could have saved them of this kind of mental trauma that they're now going through.
I agree with the point that Arunima is making, and why this becomes even more crucial is because even that complaint and the mail suggests that May 4th was just one of the episodes they mentioned. There were other episodes mentioned as well. So possibly some lives could have been saved. This is what the NCW chairperson Rekha Sharma had to say earlier in the day.
See, I don't know the situation on the ground, what and why. And today, when I talked to CM, my purpose was the same, that I should tell them that I am writing again and again to DG and CM, and now it is up to the CM. And he said that I will be talking to them that why they have not replied to NCW. We forwarded all. Writing one by one, we forwarded all the complaints and we wrote to them that work on all the complaints. मैंने बार बार उनसे बात करने के बाद जब जवाब नहीं आया तो मैंने सीएम से बात किया.
So there you heard from the NCW chairperson saying that we in fact were in touch with authorities on the ground, but it was the authorities that failed to take any action. Once again raising the multiple lapses that have happened that have resulted in this nationwide shame. So let's bring out the big 5 questions in terms of lapses and the answers that still need to be met. First is, why didn't the NCW inform the DGP as far as this complaint is concerned? The second big question also is, and this is something that I was pointing out earlier as well, why didn't the NCW follow up asking whether any action has been taken? Because the NCW is accepting the fact that there were multiple episodes and incidents that were reported in the mail, but it's the Manipur authorities that didn't do anything. So why was there no communication between the NCW and other authorities? The third question is, how can the police justify leaving the women with the mob? Now, the Indian Express has put out detailed testimonies as far as these victims are concerned, and mincing no words, the victims say, we were in fact fed to the mob with the police standing in complete silence. The fourth question is, did the police in fact ignite the mob? Because many victim testimonies suggesting that all of this happened in the presence of police officials. It in fact happened just 2 kilometers away from a police thana. The fifth question, and the main question, is how can the Chief Minister claim that there will be a fair probe? Because considering the fact there has been inaction, complete silence over the last 2 months. The Chief Minister spoke to the media once again today. He gave an update as far as the probe is concerned, and he said just in the last 2 days about 4 arrests have been made, and he's also assured people that many more arrests will be made. But it's coming too late in the day, which is leading to a lot of political pressure as well from the opposition, which is seeing a direct impact as far as the monsoon session of Parliament is concerned. Let's bring our colleague Arunima back in the conversation to try and understand these lapses on multiple levels. Arunima, today the Chief Minister once again spoke to the media. He's saying, just see the kind of developments that have happened in the last 48 hours. 4 people have been arrested out of the 25 that we were seeing in that video. Many more will be arrested. But the fact is, it's taken 2 months for those 4 arrests to be made. It's coming too late in the day. How can the Chief Minister today claim that there will be a fair probe considering the fact there has been complete inaction?
You know, arrest is just step one. If you're looking at criminal jurisprudence, you have to get the evidence to prove the case against those who have been arrested. In a rape case, what is the most crucial evidence? It is the medical examination of the victims. If you have made the arrest, if you have moved in this case 2 months after the crime, you've not even managed to establish contact with the victims for 2 months, that crucial medical evidence is gone. Secondly, you're saying that we are relying on the video to really prove our case, but you also need to corroborate the video. Video evidence may or may not be acceptable in court standalone. You do need corroborative evidence. Where are the witnesses? Are they still there in Manipur? Have they fled to neighboring state? Could they be contacted again? So this fact that 2 months has passed in a communal riot kind of a situation, ethnic riot kind of a situation, is a big blow to investigation. Police appears confident that they will be able to arrest everybody in the next 24 to 48 hours. And Chief Minister of Manipur also saying we'll ask for the capital punishment.
Yeah.
But till the time we know how you've managed to gather the evidence, we'll just look at it as too little too less.
Yeah. Arunima, that's what there are multiple questions that still remain unanswered. All the action that is taking place today looks like too little too late in the day. Arunima, thanks a lot for getting us all those details. Now let's talk about as far as the politics around the Manipur episode is concerned. As I pointed out, it has a direct bearing as far as the ongoing monsoon session of Parliament is concerned, because on day 2 as well, slogan raring by the opposition continued, which meant there was no real work that happened. Both houses stand adjourned till 11 a.m. on Monday, because the opposition's demand is clear that only discussion on Manipur needs to happen. There needs to be a presence of the Prime Minister inside the premises of the Parliament. The centre, the BJP, is saying now that the government is ready as far as discussion on Manipur is concerned, it's the opposition that is trying to delay the proceedings, which, as I pointed out, has resulted in adjournment of both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which will now resume with their proceedings at 11 a.m. on Monday. If our colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us, we'll try to bring her in the conversation to try and understand whether this logjam will only escalate into week 2 as well, and will any real work actually take place. Pallavi Ghosh is now joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, on expected lines, the opposition continue to mount their pressure, but the government is also continuing with their stand that we're ready as far as the discussion on Manipur is concerned. It's the opposition parties that are trying to delay the proceedings. Is the opposition ready for some sort of middle ground now?
I'm afraid no, Ridhima, and that's the main reason why it could become extremely difficult to perhaps even see some semblance of work happening in the next week of Parliament when it reconvenes on Monday. And what is the fight about? The fight is essentially over the rules. What the opposition is demanding is that first First of all, the Prime Minister has to make the same statement which he made inside both the houses, and then only will a discussion begins. Second is the discussion will have to be under Rule 267, which means a motion or a notice will be passed, which means what the opposition wants to do is that when the end of the discussion takes place, there should be a notice or motion passed against the government, which essentially means against the Prime Minister. Very clearly, the government is not in favor of it. The government is saying, you want it now, we're ready to discuss Manipur right now. But it has to be under Rule 176, which means no formal motion, no formal notice. Let's just begin the discussion. And of course, the wrap or the reply will come in from the Home Minister, who is a nodal ministry.
Pallavi, I also quickly want to understand what's the plan as far as the opposition is concerned. Yesterday, we'd seen details of a delegation of the TMC meeting the governor of Manipur. What's the plan as far as the opposition parties are concerned? Are we going to see more delegations now being sent?
So there are going to be those street protests. There are going to be protests leading up to Parliament as well. But apart from that, also significantly, what they are giving a final shape to is that the chief ministers of the like-minded opposition-ruled states, those who are a part of this entire opposition front called India, will travel to Manipur. It is likely to be followed up by representatives of all the 26 political parties who were a part of the opposition front. The idea is to hit the ground, question the chief minister, and more importantly, step up their demand for the dismissal of the chief minister and bringing in president's rule in the state.
Okay, Pallavi, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. Some political reactions now coming in.
मणिपुर में 2 महीनों से पूरा प्रदेश जल रहा है, घरों में आग लगाई जा रही है, मार काट हो रही है, आपस में महिलाओं के साथ भयावह अत्याचार हो रहा है, बच्चों के सर पर छत नहीं रहे और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 77 दिन के लिए कोई बयान ही नहीं दिया इस पे। वहां पे एक्शन लेना छोड़िए, एक लफ्ज नहीं कहा। कल मजबूरी में, क्योंकि एक इतना भयावह वीडियो वायरल हुआ कि वो फिर चुप नहीं रह पाए।
Before the commencement of the Parliament session, monsoon session, Honorable Prime Minister has himself given a statement as to how the nation hangs its head in shame for what has happened in Manipur. It is a serious issue as it is, a sensitive issue as it is, that Manipur was going through and all communities were suffering. At that time, for having this kind of incident, really hurts every one of us, and there's no word with which we can explain or even try to address the issue. The perpetrators will have to be caught. Some arrests have been made yesterday, and I'm sure no effort will be left unaddressed in getting these people punished.
जब वो पार्लियामेंट चल रहा है, अगर पार्लियामेंट नहीं चलता तो वो आउटसाइड बोल सकते हैं। जब पार्लियामेंट चल रहा है तो उनकी ड्यूटी होती है कि वो खबर पहले हमारे लोकसभा राज्यसभा में बोलना और समझाना, उसके बाद में चर्चा होना, ये हमारा मकसद है। बर्खास्त जरूर करना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो अगर ध्यान देते ऐसे इंसिडेंट नहीं होते।
मणिपुर में जो कुछ भी हुआ है उससे पूरा का पूरा राष्ट्र शर्मसार हुआ है और यहाँ तक कि मणिपुर की घटनाओं को लेकर कठोर से कठोर कार्रवाई किए जाने की बात हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही है और हम चाहते हैं कि मणिपुर की घटना पर संसद में चर्चा हो। मैंने ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग में स्वयं भी इस बात को कहा है और आज मैं फिर से सदन में दोहराना चाहता हूं कि हम चाहते हैं कि मणिपुर की घटना पर संसद में चर्चा होनी चाहिए। लेकिन मैं देख रहा हूं कि कुछ ऐसे राजनीतिक दल हैं जो कि अनावश्यक यहाँ पर ऐसी स्थिति पैदा करना चाहते हैं ताकि किसी भी सूरत में मणिपुर की घटना पर चर्चा न हो पाए। मैं स्पष्ट रूप से यह आरोप लगाना चाहता हूं अध्यक्ष महोदय कि सचमुच यह प्रतिपक्ष मणिपुर की घटना को लेकर जितना गंभीर होना चाहिए वो गंभीर नहीं है।
We convey our solidarity to Manipur people. बेटी बचाओ स्लोगन दिया ने आप लोगों ने। भाजपा कहा गया आपका बेटी बचाओ स्लोगन, आज बेटी जला रहा है, आज बेटी जल रहा है, आज मणिपुर जल रहा है, आज पूरा देश जल रहा है। बिल्किस को जो मर्डर केस का बिल किसका, वो भी आप छोड़ दिया। रेस्ट लॉ के लिए जिसका खिलाफ में केस था उसको भी आप लोगों ने बेल करा दिया। आज महिला का इज्जत लेके आज लूट कर रहा है। अगर महिला का इज्जत आप लेंगे तो सुन लीजिए, आने वाला चुनाव में महिला लोगों ने आपको इंडिया से दूर में फेंक देंगे।
वो महिलाओं के प्रति अत्याचार, दुष्कर्म की घटनाएं सबको शर्मसार करती हैं 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को। ऐसी घटनाओं पर रोक लगनी चाहिए, सरकारों को उचित कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए। और हम लोग संवेदनशील भी हैं, जिम्मेदार भी हैं और चर्चा में भाग भी लेना चाहते हैं, लेकिन विपक्ष जिम्मेदारी से भी भाग रहा है और चर्चा से भी।
So as the political face-off continues over the episode of Manipur, how is the opposition planning to escalate their protests, as well as what's going to happen as far as the monsoon session of Parliament is concerned? Pallavi Ghosh continues to be with us. Pallavi, you were talking to us about how opposition parties are going to only escalate their protests. Today also we saw multiple protests break out in Chennai by the left as well as other Congress parties as well. What is the plan as far as the opposition is concerned in terms of protests? Is it a possibility now this is going to become a pan-India protest?
I think so, and in fact what they're planning is to activate all the cadres, and I'm not talking only about the Congress party but other political parties as well. Look, when the BJP is shifting its strategy, and what is their strategy? Their strategy is also about counter-questioning parties like Congress, the left, the Trinamool Congress, that what about rape which happened in your state? Why is it that there's no outrage about that? They are also making the point that the Prime Minister has condemned it. There's investigation going on. Every effort is being made to nab the accused. But as far as states like West Bengal and Rajasthan are concerned, either FIRs are not registered, or even if they're registered, no action is taken. In fact, so much was the acrimony that today Mamata Banerjee on Shaheed Divas had to come out with a strong rebuttal. And she also said that these are false cases which are now being peddled by the BJP as a cover-up operation. And that's the reason why you'll see parties like TMC, Congress, even left, they're going to unleash their cadre at every state unit to start protesting. The Mahila Congress wing of the Congress party, for that matter, also doing those protests. And as I was mentioning earlier, what they're also planning is a delegation of the chief ministers of the like-minded states who are a part of this India front will travel to Manipur. It's going to be followed up by one representative each of the 26 parties who are a constituent of this India front as well. The idea is to go to Manipur, go on the ground, meet up and meet them with the relief camps and come back and make the point again inside Parliament.
Okay, Pallavi, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. We'll keep a close eye on this story and a lot more. But for now, we're slipping into a very short break.
The accessibility is a problem, which is where at the end of this day, closing it, in fact, NDRF team has mentioned that they had rescued 21 people and so far 16 people have been declared dead.
Quite a tragic incident that has taken place, and you can constantly see the visuals on your screen as to how the particular situation has panned out and how the rescue operations are taking place. We have Yasha Kotok from the particular ground joining us live on this broadcast. Yasha, a very good morning to you. Well, rescue operations have been resumed, and what information are we receiving post the teams have resumed their work this morning, and what are the difficulties they're facing on the ground even now?
So yes, the rescue operations have started again early this morning. Last night, after there was low visibility, also considering that once the sun sets, the area which does not really have any kind of electricity arrangement, there's no possibility that NDRF can continue its operation. The NDRF team had in fact reached the previous night around 12 o'clock, following which the operation had only begun in the morning because of the visibility problem. This morning, considering NDRF team has reached the spot, now the major challenge here is that this particular area, this particular village, that is the Isalgarh Wadi village, is on top of a hill wherein accessibility is a problem for NDRF team to take medical supplies also up there. It will take anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours of a trek along a route which is filled with muck, and it's constantly pouring, and there's fog, which is where visibility is a problem, accessibility is a problem with the rain, and which is where now, considering that most of these houses, they are in 40 to 50 feet of mud. Rescuing people or even getting dead bodies out is a big challenge. In fact, what was seen yesterday was that as of now, the death reported is 16. Those who were reported dead, there was a post-mortem conducted at that particular village spot itself, and they were given a burial close to the landslide area. Those who were being rescued were being brought down to the base camp. Let us tell you, base camp to the landslide location is approximately 2.5 hours of trek. We'd seen that there were several ministers, including Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who had reached that spot, which is a very difficult terrain to, in fact, reach. But now, considering that the NDRF operations are on,
Maharashtra, wherein even as bad weather hampers rescue operations at the landslide-affected region in Maharashtra's Raigad, the NDRF teams have resumed the rescue operations in order to evacuate those trapped inside the debris, and the last rites of those who have passed away in the landslide will be conducted. So far, as per figures that have been shared by the NDRF, 16 people have been reported dead, while 21 were rescued alive, and 75 people were safely evacuated from the village. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde also visited the spot on Thursday. Let's take a look at what all happened in Maharashtra yesterday.
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो चुका है और इस दुर्घटना में अभी तक 16 जन की मौत हो गई है। इसमें बहुत सारे दिक्कतें आ रही है। अभी नेटवर्क इशू की वजह से कम्युनिकेशन यहां पर नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन रिलायंस की तरफ से यहां पर कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर खड़े किए गए हैं। 4 कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से अभी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चालू है और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर का अभाव जो है वो पूरा दिख रहा है। हम ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर है, किस तरह से ये चलने वाला है, ये जयप्रकाश जी से पूछने वाले। सर, ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर काम करने वाला है और इसका कितना हेल्प ये रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में हो जाएगा?
ये जो है VHF सेट है, वेरी हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी, ये डायरेक्ट लाइन ऑफ साइट काम करती है। मतलब डायरेक्ट कम से कम 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग कहीं पे भी ऑल ओवर द सराउंडिंग 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं इसके थ्रू। और अगर इंटरनेट होगा तो इंटरनेट के थ्रू भी हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं। बट यहाँ पे इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम्स है, मोबाइल रिचेबिलिटी प्रॉब्लम है, और मोबाइल टू मोबाइल कांटेक्ट करना 1 to 1 पर्सन होता है। अभी हमारा पूरा 17 लोगों की टीम है, 10 हैम रेडियो ऑपरेटर्स है हमारे जैसे, तो ये भी हैम रेडियो ऑपरेटर हमारा कलीग्स है। तो इनके थ्रू जब हम लोग काम करते हैं तो ऑल ओवर द मतलब एक ही साथ हम लोग सबके साथ बात कर सकते हैं। यानी
अभी आपकी एक टीम यहाँ से गई है, उनसे बात हो सकती है ये कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से?
यस। अनिल JPM, FGN JPM, Yeah, FGN Sheller, very good morning. Loud and clear copy. I'm at the base station. There's a clip going on live on Tanker Victor. Demo to them. FGN JPN, over.
Copy that, sir. Copy that.
Yeah, thank you. Fine and copy. DCS is also with you?
So he is between me and you.
Okay, Delta Charlie Echo JPN. Yeah, you are coming in. You are coming 5757, over.
we are right here at the Kisalwadi village where this particular landslide took place late last night. Around 11:30 p.m. was when the landslide took place. Now the NDRF team has called off its rescue operation. You can see the team coming down all the way from the top. The hill that you see, in fact behind this hill, the one that's covered in fog, is where the incident took place late last night. Ever since then, rescue operation is constantly on. It will begin again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right now, the challenges that are being faced by the NDRF team is that there is very low visibility. Like you can also see in these visuals, the entire area is covered in fog. Also, it's constantly raining around this area. This was something that even Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who visited the spot all the way until there, mentioned that they had kept helicopters ready for the rescue operation, but rains and the visibility there is making it even more difficult to get any access. And in fact, this is the base camp where we are from here. The route towards this particular village where this incident took place is approximately 2.5 hours by foot. There is no other way that any kind of help can in fact reach there. The only way is this small route wherein only one person can walk at a time. Also, with the rains, it is becoming even more difficult because the entire area has become mucky and people are slipping around that spot.
So the accessibility is a problem, which is where at the end of this day, closing it, in fact, NDRF team has mentioned that they had rescued 21 people and so far 16 people have been declared dead.
Quite a tragic incident that has taken place, and you can constantly see the visuals on your screen as to how the particular situation has panned out and how the rescue operations are taking place. We have Yasha Kotok from the particular ground joining us live on this broadcast. Yasha, a very good morning to you. Well, rescue operations have been resumed, and what information are we receiving post the teams have resumed their work this morning, and what are the difficulties they're facing on the ground even now?
So yes, the rescue operations have started again early this morning. Last night, after there was low visibility, also
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. Let's talk about the latest as far as the Gyanvapi case is concerned, where today a Varanasi court has in fact allowed an ASI survey as far as the mosque complex is concerned. Now remember, this had been one of the long-standing demands as far as the Hindu side is concerned. But this survey comes with this caveat, which means that the area as far as the Wazu Khana is concerned, that will not be part as far as the survey is concerned. The Hindu side on expected lines seeing this as a step in the right direction and a big win as far as their right to pray is concerned. Before we bring in the reactions of the Muslim side and our colleagues in the conversation, let's listen into some reactions coming in as far as the Hindu side is concerned.
We are being joined by Vishnu Shankar Jain. Vishnu, a big order coming in from the Varanasi court. What are your first reactions? What is the order of the court?
This is a very welcome order because we had asked for ASI survey of this entire premises apart from the Wazu tank, and this order has been passed by the Honorable District Court Varanasi. So we are very happy and we are very thankful and grateful to the Honorable District Court Varanasi, which has accepted our demand of ASI survey. The entire area apart from the Wazu tank will be surveyed by the ASI. The central dome, beneath the central dome there are 3 Hindu Mandir Shikhar, that will be examined, that will be investigated. The western wall will be investigated, the pillars will be investigated, Vyasji's Thaikana will be investigated. So these are very important and crucial aspects which will be looked into by the SI, and a report will be submitted which has a value of an expert opinion under section 45 of the Indian Evidence Act, read with order 26 rule 10 of the CPC.
Vishnu, you know, this order has now come in. What would be the techniques that would be used by the archaeological?
I cannot as of now say about the techniques. The techniques will be decided by the experts and the scientists after doing the ground inspection and ground.
What are the general techniques that are used?
The general techniques are ground penetration radar, the excavation methods by various other technologies. Apart from that, there will be dating methods. Now, I don't want to use the terminology carbon dating because that can lead to various faults. So let us wait, let the order come, let the SI go and have a spot inspection. Then I will apprise you about the various techniques which will be used by the SI.
Last and final question, would you be filing a caveat in the Supreme Court of the Allahabad High Court with this?
Yes, definitely we will file the caveat before the Supreme Court, and we will request the Supreme Court and the Allahabad High Court that in the wisdom the Honorable District Court, so far as the trial is concerned, has passed this order, so there is no question of any stay, and let the matter be proceeded with.
Developments now coming in. This is the first reaction of the Muslim side post the ASI survey that has been allowed for the mosque complex. Now they're saying that we will challenge the verdict, but they're also saying we will decide our future course of action after we've gone through the fine print as far as the verdict is concerned. But as we pointed out, they categorically saying that yes, this is a setback for us, but we will decide on our legal course once we've gone through the fine print as far as this order copy is concerned. I believe we're getting a reaction coming in as well. Let's take a look.
हाँ, अभी ऑपरेटिव पोर्शन माननीय जिला जज महोदय ने पढ़ के सुनाया कि जो उनके एसआई सर्वे का एप्लीकेशन था उसको मंजूर कर लिया है और पूरा कैंपस वो पोर्शन जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट से वजूखाना सील्ड है उसको छोड़ के और 4 अगस्त तक रिपोर्ट देने के लिए कहा है। अब वो नकल लेने के बाद ऑर्डर का अवलोकन करने के बाद आगे की रणनीति तय की जाएगी। एएसआई से नहीं, आज तो खाली ऑर्डर की डेट थी और ऑर्डर हुआ है और कुछ नहीं हुआ। अब अभी ऑपरेटिव पोर्शन जिला जज साहब ने सुनाया है पढ़ के, अब ऑर्डर की पूरी कॉपी मिले कि इस ऑर्डर को एप्लीकेशन को स्वीकार करने के लिए कौन सा रीज़न उन्होंने कैसे इस नतीजे पर पहुँचे, जब अवलोकन किया जाएगा तब बताया जा सकेगा। टुडे इज़ द डेट ऑफ ऑर्डर and honorable district judge passed the order and allowed the ASI survey application and directed the ASI director to visit the spot and filed the report on 4 August 2023. After the reading of the order, then I told something, but I filed a revision to the Supreme Court, to the Honorable High Court.
Let's also now bring in our colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who in fact is now joining us on the broadcast. So Ananya, the first reaction of the masjid side also now coming in saying we will challenge the verdict, but we'll decide a future course of action once we've gone through as far as the fine print of the order copy is concerned. But as far as what the Varanasi court has said today when they allow this survey, they've made it clear that the Wazu Khana will not be part of this survey. Take us through the big takeaways as far as what the Varanasi court has said.
Well, the detailed order copy is still not out yet, so we'll have to wait for the observations of the court to come in. But at the same point of time, as you were rightly pointing out, the Wazu Khana is for a basic reason not a part of this order, because it is already at challenge before the Supreme Court of India. It was an order of the Allahabad High Court with regards to a scientific survey of the Wazu Khana that had to be conducted, but the same is now before the Supreme Court. While the other areas, including the Vyas Bhavan or the various other areas, including the central dome is concerned, that was not a part of that particular order. So that's the reason why, in fact, the Hindu side knocked the doors of the Allahabad court. They, in fact, filed a petition, and this order has now come out wherein clearly it has been said that the Archaeological Survey of India survey is to be conducted. Remember that the survey would be carried out between 8 to 12 p.m. when the masjid is actually closed, and the area is, we are expected that the survey is conducted in 4 to 6 months, as pointed out by Vishnu Shankar Jain. He said he took an example of, in fact, the Ram Janmabhoomi case, where in fact 3 years took place in order to conduct this particular survey, but the area in that case was pretty much larger. However, in this case, the area is a bit smaller one, and that's the reason why it can be completed in months. Now, what is very, very important to note is that the Muslim side too has said that, they'll be deciding the future course of action. The action lies either before the Allahabad High Court or the Supreme Court of India. So the Hindu side too is well prepared. As we were speaking to Vishnu also said that, they'll be filing caveat both before the Allahabad High Court and the Supreme Court, so that if at all the Muslim side approaches either of the two forums, the two higher forums, then the Hindu side is also heard before any kind of order is passed. Remember that a caveat is a document filed before any of the courts saying that, please don't pass an ex parte order, hear both the sides and then only pass an order. So that would be filed by the Hindu side. Whether or not the Muslim side, and when will the Muslim side be approaching the courts, is something that is a matter of time. We'll get to know. And in fact, with regards to the observations of the court also, we'll have to wait a little more when the order would be, order copy would be out. We'll get to know what are the reasonings why the court feels that Archaeological Survey of India survey is needed in this place.
Sure. So as Ananya is pointing out, we're still awaiting that final order copy. But Ananya, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Some other reactions coming in as far as the petitioners are concerned. Let's take a look.
चक्रव्यूह रच रहे हैं कानूनी रूप से कि किसी तरीके से भी मस्जिद पक्ष को कोई मौका ना मिले। चक्रव्यूह रचा है आप लोगों ने, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, लोकल कोर्ट।
मुस्लिम पक्ष जो है हाई कोर्ट से लेके सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक लड़ने के लिए तैयार है, वो सक्षम है। हम लोग जो है चूंकि हर जगह उनको मात देंगे, वो हाई कोर्ट तो उनकी टीम ऑलरेडी लगी हुई है। अब हमारा प्रयास यही होगा, स्टे हम नहीं होने देंगे, और ये तो मामला न्यायालय का है, हाई कोर्ट उनका जाने का अधिकार है। उनकी टीम ऑलरेडी पूरी तैयारी कर चुकी है, क्योंकि उनको विश्वास था कि यहाँ पे फैसला हमारे पक्ष में एसआई जांच का आएगा और एसआई सर्वे होगा, इसलिए वो पूरी तैयारी बैठे हुए करके हो सकता है सोमवार को अपनी दाखिल कर दे। हमारी भी कैबिनेट वहाँ लग चुकी है।
Sita Sahu, one of the petitioners from the Hindu side, in fact, is now joining us on the broadcast. सीता जी, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। आप कैसे देखती हैं आज जो वर्डिक्ट आया है वाराणसी कोर्ट ने, जो अलाउ कर दिया है एक सर्वे, जो आप लोग की काफ़ी डिमांड थी काफ़ी टाइम से?
हेलो, देखिए आज का जो फैसला आया है बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक फैसला है, जो बार बार हम लोग को शुरू से कह रहे हैं कि मंदिर है, लेकिन मुस्लिम पक्ष इसका विरोध कर रहा है। जो कभी तलवारों के नोक पे हम लोग के मंदिरों को तोड़ा गया था, उसका मलबा तो उसी में डाल दिया गया था। जब इस तरह का सर्वे होगा, वैज्ञानिक पद्धति से सर्वे होगा, तो जो सत्य काफी समय से छुपाया जा रहा है, वो सत्य सारा सामने आ जाएगा। अद्भुत सत्य आएगा, आश्चर्यजनक रूप से सत्य आएगा और सब सच्चाई सामने आएगी और पता चल जाएगा कि वो मंदिर है और द्वादश ज्योतिर्लिंगों में एक बाबा विश्वनाथ जी का मंदिर है।
जी सीता जी, पर अगर आज आप देखें जो वाराणसी कोर्ट ने कहा है, उन्होंने कहा है हाँ हम सर्वे को तो अलाउ करेंगे, पर जो वजू खाना है उसका कोई सर्वे नहीं होगा, उसको कैसे देखते हैं आप?
देखिए, हम लोग पूरे परिषद को ही अपना मंदिर मानते हैं और वजू खाने का भी वो अभी माननीय न्यायालय सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अभी वहाँ पे विचाराधीन है, उसका भी फैसला जल्द आएगा। लेकिन अभी तो फिलहाल हम लोग पूरे वो तो सीलिंग एक जगह है ही, बाकी पूरा ज्ञानवापी परिषद ही मंदिर है। तो पहले से हम लोग जीत की तरफ अग्रसर हो रहे हैं। सच्चाई सामने धीरे धीरे आती जाएगी, सत्य की जीत होगी। आप भी देख लीजिएगा। सारा सनातनियों की बहुत बहुत बधाई हो इस
जी सीता जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। सो देयर यू हर्ड फ्रॉम वन ऑफ द पेटिशनर्स ऑफ द हिंदू साइड सेइंग दिस इज जस्ट वन स्मॉल विक्ट्री, इवेंचुअली यू विल सी द ट्रूथ कम आउट। लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट सम ऑफ द रिएक्शंस कमिंग इन।
बम बम बोल रहा है, करते हैं मेरे भोले, मेरा नाम हो रहा है, बाबा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। बहुत बड़ी खुशी है। आज जो एसआई की जांच है उसका आदेश आ गया कि जांच होगी। बहुत बड़ी हिंदू सनातन धर्म की जीत है। बहुत कुछ साथ निकलेगा सामने, जो अभी तक इन्होंने छुपा के रखा था वो एक साथ उभर के सामने आ जाएगा। पूरे सनातन धर्म की बहुत खुशी की बात है आज।
देखिए, ज्ञानवापी मामले में वैज्ञानिक आधार पर जो सर्वे की आज आदेश माननीय न्यायालय द्वारा दिया गया है, शहर स्वीकार करना चाहिए, स्वागत योग्य है। इससे दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाएगा, साफ सुथरी रिपोर्ट बनेगी और जो सही वैज्ञानिकता के आधार पर तथ्य होंगे वो पूरे देश दुनिया के सामने आ जाएंगे। माननीय न्यायालय का आदेश सबको स्वीकार होना चाहिए, कोई भी पक्ष हो, लेकिन माननीय न्यायालय का जो आदेश आया वो स्वागत योग्य है।
Developments now coming in. This is a big update as far as the ongoing probe as to what has taken place in Manipur is concerned. As we pointed out, there are 4 people who have been arrested till now. All 4 of them have been sent to a 11-day police custody. So the big update is the 4 people who've been arrested post that horrific video that surfaced from Manipur have now been sent to police custody for a time period of 11 days. And authorities are extremely confident that the other men who were seen in that horrific, shameful video will be nabbed very soon as well. Kamalika Sengupta now joining us with more details. Kamalika, what are the other details that you're picking up?
See, the thing is that more people are yet to get arrested. There were almost 25 people in that, that's quite evident from that video. So, 4 people have got arrested. Police custody was required and a larger number of days of police custody was required to interrogate and question them to get leads for the other people. So that's why, this much of police custody was asked by the police, and the court has granted that, which is one positive point, which will help the police to investigate this matter further. Now, but the point is still now, today, no further arrest. That we are not getting that there is any further arrest, because it's a matter of 25 people and just arrested 4. So, I mean, like 20 more, 21 more to go. So where are they? Have they fled, or what is it? Continuous raids are going on. That's what we are getting. Today the statement has been recorded of the victims. It's supposed to get recorded today. So with that new statement, police will definitely try to dig in more to it. But obviously, even if everything is done, the question on the police still is there.
Kamalika, quickly, I also want to understand how confident are authorities of nabbing the other men as well. 4 men have been arrested, 25 of them were seen in that video. How confident are the authorities of nabbing the others as well?
See, the pressure on them is too much. I mean, if you say the confidence level, in every second they have to, think of, how fast they can arrest people, because, this video has shock to the nation, and that pressure is on them. So definitely, it's a very hard time for them now. Really, digging in and getting the stuff done. So it is definitely very pressure. They are continuously trying to get it. So the confidence level. Commenting on the confidence level, I would like to say that they are just trying to do everything. That's what's coming from their side.
Okay, Kamalika, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. Shifting our focus, and this is a mega CNN News 18 exclusive. There has been a big crackdown as far as the NIA is concerned on various terror modules. An ISIS terror module has now been busted in Jharkhand and has also resulted to certain arrests. What is the kind of modus operandi? Who is the people who've been arrested? Who were they in touch with? These are questions that we will be answering in a short while from now. But first, we want to break down the details in terms of what really has happened as part of this crackdown. Let's break down those details in terms of the arrests that have been made and the modus operandi as well. This is what the NIA has revealed so far. An alleged ISIS operative, Faizan Ansari, has been held and has been arrested. What we're also now picking up is the accused is a student of the Aligarh Muslim University. Other details also telling us there are electronic devices and documents that have been seized by the NIA as well. The accused were in touch with ISIS operatives which are based abroad. Faizan Associates pledged allegiance as far as the ISIS is concerned. The NIA is also revealing, and the NIA is saying that he is considering performing hijrat as well. So these are initial details that are coming in as far as the revelations of the NIA is concerned. But what is also crucial to note here is the modus operandi and the people they were in touch with. So let's break down the details step by step. What is the modus operandi? Step 1 is you disseminate the ISIS propaganda. Step 2 is you support and push ISIS activity. Step 3, you radicalize new converts. Step 4, strengthen ISIS cadre base. And step 5, plot terror attacks in India. And this is where we started the story from. The fortunate news as of now is that a terror attack has been averted because of this terror module that has been busted by the NIA, which seems to show links as far as overseas is concerned. Let's also now bring in our colleague Saurabh Rathore, who in fact has been tracking these details. Saurabh, as I said, the fortunate news is that a terror attack has been averted. But there are chilling revelations that are coming to light in terms of the accused, their links, and their eventual target. Give us the details.
See, Ridhima, yes, it is the fact that a major attack was averted. And if I tell you about this particular accused who has been arrested by NIA, his education was done in Lohardaga district. The schooling was done there. And after that, he went to St. Xavier's, Ranchi. And from there, for higher education, he went to Aligarh Muslim University, where he met some radicalized ISIS inclined people. And through dark web and also social media, he came in contact with some ISIS handlers over there, and he became radicalized. And after that, he returned 2 months back to Lohardaga, where he was trying to radicalize new converts over there. He was planning something big on behalf of ISIS recruits over there. He was trying to recruit new people, and only after the information that was received by the central agencies, the central agencies raided his house in Lohardaga as well as the rented room in Aligarh, and there found many incriminating documents as well as laptops and mobile messages, and only after strong evidence he was arrested by NIA yesterday and sent to Ranchi jail. And in the press release that was given by the NIA, according to it, Faizan had hatched a criminal conspiracy along with his associates and other unknown individuals through social media platforms with an intention to support ISIS activities in India and disseminate the outfit's propaganda through various social media platforms. Now, investigations have further revealed that Faizan and his associates had pledged their allegiance to Islamic State, and he was also actively involved in the process of radicalizing new converts. Now, he was in contact with foreign-based ISIS handlers who were actively guiding him on recruitment of operatives for the ISIS. Along with the members of ISIS, he was planning violent actions and was also contemplating Hijrat, a foreign-based ISIS conflict there. So these are the details that was given by the NIA after the arrest was made. And because the hearing of his remand was not done yesterday, he was sent to jail, and certainly he will remain jail. And NIA has achieved a major achievement. NIA
No
has
doubt,
been,
Saurabh, that this is a major success as far as the NIA is concerned. But I just want to go back to something that you pointed a short while ago in terms of the recoveries that have been made. Has that mapping process begun to try and understand who all were in touch with Faizan and what are the kind of communication that he was having?
See, Riddhima, because he was in touch with ISIS operatives abroad through dark web and social media, the NIA and the other central agencies, while conducting raids and researches at his house in Lohardaga as well as in rented room in Aligarh, there they found many incriminating documents as well as they found some materials, and clearly the NIA has written in its press release that only after strong evidence the arrest has been made. That means that the NIA has got a strong evidence against this particular Faizan Ansari, who was trying to, contact ISIS operatives outside, and he was recruiting new, recruits over here in Jharkhand as well.
Okay, Saurabh, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Keep a close eye on all those developments for us. Time for us to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with lots more.
Top of a hill, wherein accessibility is a problem for NDRF team to take medical supplies also up there. It will take anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours of a trek along a route which is filled with muck, and it's constantly pouring, and there's fog, which is where visibility is a problem, accessibility is a problem with the rain, and which is where now, considering that most of these houses, they are in 40 to 50 feet of mud, rescuing people or even getting dead bodies out is a big challenge. In fact, what was seen yesterday was that as of now, the death reported is 16. Those who were reported dead, there was a postmortem conducted at that particular village spot itself, and they were given a burial close to the landslide area. Those who were being rescued were being brought down to the base camp. Let us tell you, base camp to the landslide location is approximately 2.5 hours of trek. We'd seen that there were several ministers, including Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who had reached that spot, which is a very difficult terrain to, in fact, reach. But now, considering that the NDRF operations are on,
Maharashtra, wherein even as bad weather hampers rescue operations at the landslide-affected region in Maharashtra's Raigad, the NDRF teams have resumed the rescue operations in order to evacuate those trapped inside the debris, and the last rites of those who have passed away in the landslide will be conducted. So far, as per figures that have been shared by the NDRF, 16 people have been reported dead, while 21 were rescued alive, and 75 people were safely evacuated from the village. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde also visited the spot on Thursday. Let's take a look at what all happened in Maharashtra yesterday.
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो चुका है और इस दुर्घटना में अभी तक 16 जन की मौत हो गई है। इसमें बहुत सारी दिक्कतें आ रही है। अभी नेटवर्क इशू से की वजह से कम्युनिकेशन यहाँ पर नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन रिलायंस की तरफ से यहाँ पर कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर खड़े किए गए हैं। 4 कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से अभी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चालू है और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर का अभाव जो है वो पूरा दिख रहा है। हम ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर है, किस तरह से ये चलने वाला है, ये जयप्रकाश जी से पूछने वाले। सर, ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर काम करने वाला है और इसका कितना हेल्प ये रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में हो जाएगा?
ये जो है VHF सेट है, वेरी हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी, ये डायरेक्ट लाइन ऑफ साइट काम करती है। मतलब डायरेक्ट कम से कम 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग कहीं पे भी ऑल ओवर द सराउंडिंग 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं इसके थ्रू। और अगर इंटरनेट होगा तो इंटरनेट के थ्रू भी हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं, बट यहाँ पे इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम्स है, मोबाइल रीचेबिलिटी प्रॉब्लम है, और मोबाइल टू मोबाइल कांटेक्ट करना 1 to 1 पर्सन होता है। अभी हमारा पूरा 17 लोगों की टीम है, 10 हैमरेडी ऑपरेटर्स है हमारे जैसे, तो ये भी हैमरेडी ऑपरेटर्स हमारा कलीग्स है। तो इनके थ्रू जब हम लोग काम करते हैं तो ऑल ओवर द मतलब एक ही साथ हम लोग सबके साथ बात कर सकते हैं। यानी
अभी आपकी एक टीम यहाँ से गई है, उनसे बात हो सकती है कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से?
यस अनिल JPM, FGN JPM, JPM.
Sheller here.
Yeah, FGN Sheller. Very good morning. Loud and clear copy. I'm at the base station. There's a clip going on live on Tanker Victor. Demo to them. FGN JPN, over.
Copy that, sir. Copy that.
Yeah, thank you. Fine and copy. DCS is also with you?
So he is between me and you.
Okay, Delta chaliye ko JPN. Yeah, you are coming in. You are coming 5757 over.
We are right here at the Isalwadi village where this particular landslide took place late last night. Around 11:30 p.m. was when the landslide took place. Now the NDRF team has called off its rescue operation. You can see the team coming down all the way from the top. The hill that you see, in fact behind this hill, the one that's covered in fog, is where the incident took place late last night. Ever since then, rescue operation is constantly on. It will begin again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right now, the challenges that are being faced by the NDRF team is that there is very low visibility. Like you can also see in these visuals, the entire area is covered in fog. Also, it's constantly raining around this area. This was something that even Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who visited the spot all the way until there, mentioned that they had kept helicopters ready for the rescue operation, but rains and the visibility there is making it even more difficult to get any access. And in fact, this is the base camp where we are from here. The route towards this particular village where this incident took place is approximately 2.5 hours by foot. There is no other way that any kind of help can in fact reach there. The only way is this small route wherein only one person can walk at a time. Also with the rains, it is becoming even more difficult because the entire area has become mucky and people are slipping around that spot. So the accessibility is a problem, which is where at the end of this day, closing it, in fact NDRF team has mentioned that they had rescued 21 people and so far 16 people have been declared dead.
Quite a tragic incident that has taken place, and you can constantly see the visuals on your screen as to how the particular situation has panned out and how the rescue operations are taking place. We have Yasha Kotok from the particular ground joining us live on this broadcast. Yasha, very good morning to you. Well, rescue operations have been resumed, and what information are we receiving post the teams have resumed their work this morning, and what are the difficulties they're facing on the ground even now?
So yes, the rescue operations have started again early this morning. Last night, after there was low visibility, also considering that once the sun sets, the area which does not really have any kind of electricity arrangement, there's no possibility that NDRF can continue its operation. The NDRF team had in fact reached the previous night around 12 o'clock, following which the operation had only begun in the morning because of the visibility problem. This morning, considering NDRF team has reached the spot, now the major challenge here is that this particular area, this particular village, that is the Isalwadi village, is on top of a hill wherein accessibility is a problem for NDRF team to take medical supplies also up there. It will take anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours of a trek along a route which is filled with muck, and it's constantly pouring and there's fog, which is where visibility is a problem, accessibility is a problem with the rain, and which is where now, considering that most of these houses, they are in 40 to 50 feet of mud, rescuing people or even getting dead bodies out is a big challenge. In fact, what was seen yesterday was that as of now, the death reported is 16. Those who were reported dead, there was a post-mortem conducted at that particular village spot itself, and they were given a burial close to the landslide area. Those who were being rescued were being brought down to the base camp. Let us tell you, base camp to the landslide location is approximately 2.5 hours of trek. We've seen that there were several ministers, including Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who had reached that spot, which is a very difficult terrain to, in fact, reach. But now, considering that the NDRF operations are on,
Maharashtra, wherein even as bad weather hampers rescue operations at the landslide affected region in Maharashtra's Raigad, the NDRF teams have resumed the rescue operations in order to evacuate those trapped inside the debris, and the last rites of those who have passed away in the landslide will be continued.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. And we're getting some breaking developments coming in. And this is as far as the online gaming sector is concerned. The recent decision that has come in from the GST Council to tax it with a 28% tax slab has not gone down well with the industry, because they feel this will be the end game for them. Now we're understanding a letter, in fact, has been written to the Prime Minister. And this is from Indian as well as foreign investors, about 30 of them, who voiced their concerns to the Prime Minister. We're putting out that copy of that letter as well, which says, by way of introduction, we, the Indian and foreign investors of the Indian online skill gaming industry, our names are included and enclosed with the list, as I pointed out, about 30 of them. They're writing their concerns regarding the recent decision by the GST Council to impose GST on online gaming operators by changing the methodology of determination of value of supply. The decision of the 50th GST Council has the unintended consequence of equating constitutionally protected, legitimate online scale gaming industry with gambling. And that has been the concern of the gaming industry, that once you tax us with that 28% bracket, you're equating us with gambling, betting and other games of chance. The letter further says, we invested in this sector with the vision to make India the gaming capital of the world. But if these kind of tax slabs are implemented, this in fact will be the end as far as the industry is concerned. It further quickly goes on to say, within online gaming, skill-based real money gaming is India's largest gaming subsector, which is contributing roughly about 2.9 billion as far as the online gaming industry by revenue is concerned. And that is why they're requesting as far as a relook to this decision is concerned, because they feel if this tax slab continues, then the number of people will start pulling out as far as this industry is concerned. Well, this is a developing story. We'll keep tracking all those developments. With that, it's a wrap from my side, but news continues here on CNN News 18. Viewpoint is up next.
Apprehensions over the Seema Haider case. Are people blowing it out of proportion that this woman came from Pakistan and, managed to enter India? Or do you think this is indeed a security concern for India?
Critical about the government is one thing, but obsessed about one man is another thing. Multiple people on that 28 parties said the same thing. Our agenda is to defeat Modi. So much so, sir, they were not even clear about the name.